Today we're talking about how to nail your mic drop moment. What is a mic drop moment? That's a power statement. Those are your key messages. A lot of people, when preparing for an interview, think they are preparing to be interviewed about themselves. Let me tell you, unless you are Stephen King, people are not interested in your writing process. They're interested in the themes in your book. No one is interviewing you about you. You are there to be a spokesperson for the themes you talk about. The way to get quoted and to stop people in their tracks is to have a power statement. A power statement is something that is memorable, unconventional, and therefore provocative. Provocative equals memorable. If you're saying what everyone else is saying, you are boring and you're not going to get attention. Today, I'm going to give you 3 tips to find the power statements in your interviews so that you're prepared. If you are doing any one of these 3 mistakes, you are camouflaging me from accepting your wisdom, because I can't see, I can't hear the knowledge that you have if you camouflage it in one of these 3 mistakes. Number 1, do not use tentative language. Tentative language is apologetic, any kind of what I really think is this. Tentative language is tiptoeing before you actually stomp the ground. So skip the tiptoe. If you're using tentative language, you're just using a bunch of words that precede your power statement. It's like stubbing your toe on the way to running or breaking into a sprint. All I'm going to see is you stub your toe and fall flat on your face instead of take off like a shot. An example of tentative language is, I would like to share with you today. What I'd really like to share is, great, is that a request? Are you asking a question? I'd really like to share. Is it okay if I share this with you? Goodness gracious, do we have to ask permission to share what we know now? No, just spit it out. If you are a woman who talks like that, know that you are using tentative language and it waters down everything that you're about to say. You're just filling the airwaves with more words, and that acts as camouflage because then I can't really tell what you're going to say. Instead of saying, what I'd really like to share is, what I really want to point out is the most important thing is, no, here's what you do. Take a breath. The most important thing you can do to create your power statements are these 3 things. Remove these 3 things from your messages and your scripting before you do any interview. See, I'm not asking, and then stop talking. The reason why you do this is because you want to stop yourself from filling in the silence with a bunch of nonsense filler words, and not just so, but words like, I really think it's important that we talk about yuck. It's just word stew. Yuck. No. So number 1, remove all that tentative language, that tap dancing, before you unleash your power statement. Number 2, thing that people do that gets in the way of us hearing what they really are going to share, their power statement, is when authors use disclaimer language. An example of disclaimer language is when someone might say, while this other author says this, and I really think that that is good advice, what I would say to that is this other thing. You just told me what somebody else said. Let me give you another example of disclaimer language. While other writing and book coaches would tell you that an interview needs to be organic and conversational, what I really want to share with you today is that even though they're saying something that I really agree with, there is one thing that I would say that is different. See, I haven't even said anything yet. I'm just filling the airways with baloney. And it smells bad. It smells like refrigerator exhaust and sadness. Instead of disclaimer language and tipping your hat to all the other people who also have opinions, your power statement is in there, and it's, what would you say? Just freaking say it. The most important thing you can do is to own your provocative point of view. Write it down 10 times in 10 different ways and choose one way you're going to deliver that thought. Do not repeat the point, but rephrase it. All you're doing is muddying the waters for the listener. Your power statement needs to be delivered in one way and always that way. And don't use a disclaimer. Disclaimers are, even though, so-and-so else thinks this other thing, who cares? We're not talking to them. We're talking to you. The third misstep people make in finding their power statements is that they are apologetic about it. They feel like they've got to be inclusive, and so they apologize on their way to their power statement, which is not your job. You don't have to apologize for having a perspective that goes against the grain. Going against the grain is the only thing that makes us interesting. I would love for you to lean into going against the grain. It's what makes you stand out. Please don't be apologetic. An apology that precedes a power statement is like, I know a lot of people say this, and I really don't want to take anything away from them. They're the top of their game. But one thing, if I could offer a different perspective, and I really do respect them. Do you see how I still haven't said anything? Just adding words to the universe that don't need to be in there. It's fine. If you're having these thoughts, have them on the inside. And then if you need to practice spitting out your power statements, practice with Google talk to text. It will transcribe you, and you'll be able to see, wow, I actually am doing a lot of this. Tentative language, disclaimers, apologetic, all of these things precede the power statement. They put up literary barriers to us actually seeing and hearing what your mic drop moment is going to be. I am gesturing wildly. It's like you're trying to camouflage us from really hearing and accepting your wisdom and hearing the power in it. When I am working with folks, I get exasperated by disclaimer language, tentative language, apologetic, particularly with academics who have been conditioned because of writing research papers and books and articles that have to be peer reviewed. They think that to be an author of a mass market book, which is called a trade book, you need to precede your power statement with other authors or perspective that you would in a peer-reviewed article. You don't need to qualify every statement. And the way you can know that you are using disclaimer language, apologetic language, let's all be on the same language, but I'm really apologetic about the thing that I'm about to say that goes against the grain. First of all, it's so boring. And secondly, you can identify these because all of these precede power statements. Even when you look at your transcript, which you should, you will see dependent clauses or run-on sentences where your power statement is sandwiched like good filling of an Oreo and bookended by those terrible wafers that keep us from getting to the good stuff. The great thing is it's really easy to edit. Remove the dependent clause that is blocking our access from your power statement and remove that run-on sentence at the end. We don't need any of that. What we do need is to hear what you actually have to say. And the interviewer or a panelist or a host, they want to be able to edit that power statement into marketing assets. They can't do that if you have a run-on sentence that precedes your power statement. The reason why I share this is because it is so exasperating. Anytime you feel like you also are exasperated or indignant about something in your industry or about a nugget of wisdom that people are not getting, write that down. Those become your power statements. If I had a nickel for every time someone said, well, even though these other people say this, I really have a different view, I would be a cajillionaire. It makes my blood boil. And that's why one of my power statements, which came out of me coaching a client inside my Buzzworthy Lab small group program, is that your humility is boring. And this was after weeks of me trying to be nice about it. But your humility of saying, I don't want to say anything. I know a lot of people say this other thing, but I don't want to take anything away from them. Like, oh my God, you are killing me with all the tap dancing and the tipping of the hat to the other people. I want to know what you are going to say. I want to understand why your book is important. I want to understand what the issues are at play. And if you can't spit that out in a way that removes the literary debris from the interview or from the transcript, then I'm not going to be able to hear your message. Your time giving your speech will be a waste of your time and of my time being there. So I tried, in this particular instance, I tried explaining your humility is actually a barrier to the people who are seeking your perspective. It's a big fat brick wall and it's getting in our way and we don't know what to do, so we just stop listening. That's all this tentative language, the apologetic language, it just gets in the way. If you want to identify your mic drop moments, peel those back and look at those power statements. Your humility is boring. It gets in the way. You don't have to speak on behalf of your entire industry. When you are an author and you're a speaker and you are launching or trying to refresh interest in your book that maybe came out 6 months ago or a year ago, please don't distract us by talking about something else or someone else's perspective because we're interested in you. Any language that starts with, while I'm not an expert in this, I do want to share. We think you're an expert. Don't tell us you're not an expert. You know what that makes me want to do? Click next. I'm not an expert, but yes, you are. And you telling me not, it's insulting to me. You're saying you're wrong. Well, dang it. You are an expert through your experience. There's no certificate of expertise. Even if you're a memoirist and had an experience that is unique and you wrote about it and it became a book, you are now an expert for the themes that you wrote about in your book. Don't tell me what you're not. You can simply be there representing those themes and opening up conversation. What I also don't want to hear is, well, all these other people have a good point. You know, lots of people say this. God, delete, no thanks. Even though I haven't been doing this for a long time, even though I've only written 3 books, not 20, even though I'm not as qualified as other people, says you. Why is it that authors, particularly debut authors, like to point out what they're not? Nobody knows. They're not auditing you. What they do know is that your book is on a shelf at Barnes & Noble, at your indie bookstore, at Whitehall Books up the street in Reading, Massachusetts, where I live. So don't tell me all the things that you're not. I need you to tell me who you're showing up for. I need you to tell me what perspective I need to have. I need you to deliver it in something that I'm going to remember. You are the brand. Your book is the product. See how I said that? That's something that came out of my mouth one day because I was indignant and I was trying to give someone some real advice that they could act on so they could stop trying to sell their book every time they were in an interview. That's not how you sell a book, to tell you what's on page 87. You talk about the need for conversation about the topics in the book. You talk about what people are lacking, what people need, what they desire, what they don't want. What I'm sharing with you today is 3 things that get in the way of people hearing your wisdom: tentative language, disclaimer language, apologetic language. Peel those back and deliver the value you have with confidence and make sure people hear it. You got this.